Like the evidence suggests over how many bloody centuries that this world has been in operation, right? Men, generally speaking, have
Mm-hmm.
always been, even if not relationships, always been involved in multiple women, like up and down, whether they're married or they're not married. Like men, just in general, tend to be more adventurous or more polygamous than women are. I don't even necessarily think it's due to what you said about women just caring more about men, because obviously the sex industry is mostly dominated by women. So
That's
if
true.
this
This is true.
and a lot of them, at least a decent number of them have romantic partners in real life outside of the actual work. So the idea that women
But
can
that
detach
that's my
things,
point, though. I think you're proving my point because that's separating the emotional from the physical.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
But some people have
yeah.
this idea that women can detach emotional from physical, but I think they definitely can.
They
So
can, but I
that,
think once they are heavily emotionally invested, then it's hard.
but I think it's hard. It's
Yeah,
hard,
I
but I
mean,
think it's hard even for men when they're invested. It's too hard.
true, true,
But
true.
but what I was gonna continue on that same scenario is, although it's hard, I think still for men, history suggests that men are just way more likely to do it. So that would mean maybe it's not as hard for men. I think I can agree with that. It's not as hard for men to detach feelings
Mm,
from the
yeah,
physical.
yeah, yeah.
What that also says to me is, even though obviously I'm Muslim, so I have some bias in this,
Mm-hmm.
polygamy, right? Uh, Generally speaking, other countries don't allow polygamy. I think Christianity doesn't allow polygamy either. But we allow
Mm-hmm.
polygamy. And part of the reason why we allow polygamy is, apart from the fact that men are meant to be providers religiously anyway,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of women struggle to find jobs. And not only that, but a lot of women don't find partners. So men are encouraged to marry multiple wives so they can provide, if they can anyway, provide for them and make their lives easier, etc. But I think there's also credence to the fact that a lot of men seem to be dissatisfied with only having one partner. And that's
Mm-hmm.
just based on evidence, Muslims aside, like just general Western society. If you go to America, that's the case. In Nigeria,
Yeah.
that's the case. When I'm on Twitter complaining every day that the men can't save people.
Facts.
So, so if the reality of the situation is, or suggests anyway, that men have a tendency to engage with multiple partners, then
Mm-hmm.
why can't we have a broader acceptance of, maybe, just maybe, it's in the nature of men to be more adventurous? It doesn't mean that
Okay.
there aren't exceptions, like, because I don't see myself being the type of guy to have multiple partners. Like, I just don't.
Yeah,
That doesn't
same.
change in the future, but as of now, I don't see myself marrying multiple wives. Um, so there's always going to be exceptions
But you
to
never know. You never know. You're
general.
right.
You
Yes.
never know exactly. I would say you never know. So that doesn't mean there won't be exceptions to general. But largely speaking, there's a large enough percentage of men out here that just can't seem to be with one partner because they end up cheating. I
Isn't
think
that
if
a
you took a
slippery
survey,
slope, though?
in what way?
So, like, because there's always, like Rose said, there's always going to be more. So if, okay, you have one partner, then you get another
Yeah.
partner, so then you have two wives, you can always see a third one that is buffer than the other
Oh,
two, and
yeah.
the
That's
fourth
that's
one that is
still
buffer than the, I mean?
that still goes to my point that men can't seem to stay with one partner or two partners. Like, they always seem to want more, right? So
Yeah.
which is the broader question that I asked you earlier. Are men just naturally polygamous? Like, that's why I asked you that question to begin with, because I actually wanted to
I
know what
don't
you had.
know. I don't know.
Because the
That's a
evidence
t-
suggests so. That's
the
what I'm saying.
evidence
Like, the evidence
suggests,
suggests
yeah,
so.
suggests so, yeah.
But there's,
I
like I
think.
said, there's still exceptions, and there's the fact that women don't do it as much. But there's
Mhm.
also this thing where people don't want to accept that men and women are different, like internally, like think like people just want to say we're the same, we're just different
Facts.
genders or whatnot. So, but like, if the evidence suggests there's more to it than just, oh, men and women are the same, and you can
Mm,
have all this data that suggests men are likely to cheat. I don't know what percentage of men cheat, but I would say, out if you took a survey of 10 men that have been
mhm,
in like 3, 4 relationships, I'll say maybe 7 or 8 of them cheated at one point.
mhm.
Like,
Probably.
yeah,
Nigga
so,
said
like,
70%.
That's high now.
so
Nigga said, man, them
Niggas don't
are
over
not
here.
you guys
faithful.
think that's too high? Like, take your, I don't want to say take your friends because we're still younger. Any older men you know, or older women that you know, if you've spoken to them about their relationships,
Mhm.
I guarantee you most of them have either cheated or been cheated on. Like,
Mm.
and I say 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I know a
I'm
couple who
confident.
have both ways
Like,
to
I'm
be
confident with that
cheated on.
number.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are we just polygamous? Like, is that just a thing
But
where
then
men are?
wait, come on. You know
Uh-huh.
the funny thing? the number for women might actually be equivalent to that of men. It's just that like maybe women are more discreet about it when they are
If it is
cheating.
okay,
Because
so if
to be
that's the
fair,
case,
like to be
are
fair,
human
like
beings then just polygamous then?
I think it's more of a lack of self-discipline than polygamy.
Nah. Well, because the lack of self-discipline goes to our nature, isn't it? So
Yeah.
if all human beings have a lack of self-discipline, or a large percentage of
Because
human
one
beings have,
exactly
so you,
self-discipline is
you
one
get me,
thing,
like,
but what's your natural instinct?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you like you guys said, you're married, but you go somewhere and you see someone and you're like, she's fatter than my wife, or she makes more sense than my wife,
You
and
know,
you're talking.
that's the lack of self-discipline.
Okay,
No,
but
but
the
that's
discipline
always going to be a
stops
thing,
you.
even if you have
The discipline
self-discipline.
stops you from acting on it, is what you're saying, right? The discipline
Exactly.
stops you from,
Yeah.
but it
But you
doesn't
can
stop the thought.
acknowledge
Yeah,
that
okay, yeah.
It doesn't
The
stop the
thoughts, yeah,
intention,
the thoughts are there.
despite how
Knowledge
much you
is
love
involved.
someone. So what does that say? Like, despite how much you love someone, you're still having thoughts of cheating on her with someone else, even if you don't follow through.
and that's
Doesn't
just
that mean that
natural
your
human
natural
instinct.
disposition means you
Yeah.
are likely to be polygamous? Like, which means you can love more than one person or be with more than one person. That doesn't mean you don't love
It's
the other
probably
person.
not
You get me?
love. Maybe it's
Why is
just
it not love?
infatuation, lust.
In that scenario,
Pretty
it's
much,
infatuation because you
yeah.
don't know the person.
But that's why I
Yeah,
brought up the
exactly.
case of if you don't yarn them and then you vibe
Yeah,
later.
and then you vibe, and then over time, that's how people have affairs, isn't it? Like
But
you
then
meet
that's the thing,
someone,
like
vibe,
even if you
and
do,
have
even if
affairs.
you do vibe, I know it might not still even be love. Because at the end of
But
the
it might.
day,
It might.
you are motivated by that desire to probably engage in intercourse with this person. Do you get? So
No,
like
people
at the
can.
end of
I
the
see
Okay,
what
day,
you're
the
saying.
foundation might not even be love. It might just be that desire to fulfill that goal which you set in your head,
Okay, now
for
in a
the
scenario
chase.
where is that okay, and then you've now given, and then you're still feeling
uh-huh.
her.
You're
Now
still
what?
feeling that exactly.
And
And
now
I
that
also say, what
see
made you get with your wife in the
all
first
of
place?
these things
What was your
they are
initial
pretty much on
motivation
the
to get with your
table.
wife?
Uh-huh.
All of these things they are pretty much on the table at the end of the day. But then like when you look at, well, I don't have any statistics, but based on like observations, you know that most times that's just the case. It's just a conquest to satisfy that lust in that moment. Pretty much, that's what it is most of the time. Because if it was a thing of love, I don't think people will have regrets if they do it when they get like caught or something. You get,
Some of them don't though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
well, a lot of them actually don't. It's crazy.
Like that's what like so say me for example, I'm exposing myself here. But here's what it is, right? For the sake of the conversation, there was a time time ago I was like dating one babe now here in uni and everything. And then obviously we used to go to house parties and shit. So I went with one of my boys now and everything. You know what I mean? I saw this babe, mixed babe, everything. She was short. And I was like, she was the perfect thing man had ever seen. I was like, yo, what's going on here? You get me? Yeah, I mean, obviously she smiled or whatever. In my mind, I'm thinking she's never going to want to hear me. I mean, but she smiled at me, whatever. She was with some of our guys, Then we now started yanning on the side because one of my guys knew one of her guys. And then the chat was raw, like it was one of those ones. I'm not trying to be corny, but like she was finishing my sentences, I was finishing her sentences, like all these abstract things that I thought, nah, it's only me that does it. Like I'm a weird guy.
Yeah.
She was like into all that shit. So in my mind, I'm thinking, yo, if there's ever the one, it must be her, innit? It must be.
This guy's a babe at the time.
So exactly. So in my mind, I'm thinking now I'm ready to risk it all. You know what I mean? Like,
Rose, you see what we're saying? You
no,
see
but
what
that's
Yeah,
I'm
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
saying?
yeah, yeah.
But it wasn't just
I see
based
what you're
on like
saying.
looks. It was like the
Yeah,
chat was like,
exactly.
no, now, wait, but I'm taking a step further because it's okay. So I didn't do anything that night. I mean, I didn't even call a number. I didn't even whatever. I was just like, yo, man, like I'm just keep it cool. She was buff, we yarned, it was clean, whatever. Then some weeks later, that my guy that knows one of her guys, I mean, we're going to share somebody's house. Then basically a bunch of people were there. She was also there. So we started chatting again. And this time we chatted for like maybe 2.5 hours. Like, so
Okay.
I even now tripped. I was like, yo, man, at the end of the 2.5 hours, I was like, yo, man. Again, I'm not trying to, I'm like, I want to risk it all, but I don't leave the house and everything. Okay, let me just collect number. And I know what they are saying already. No, but if you collect number, it's already cheating. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, I mean, like Kamal said earlier on this pod, don't let your significant other stop you from finding the number of your life. Yeah, I mean, so yeah. So we are now, whatever. Now, plot twist. She eventually found out she had a guy.
You guys are playing each other, bro.
Yeah, I was see, but we could both tell though, and I could be wrong, but we could both tell that you man, be like say like, but with the wrong people, because this was too clean. You know what I mean? And me personally, I don't like stress. I don't like to go home and start arguing with my thing. Like, yo, free me. You know what I mean? And I know some people are on that, but I'm not. So everybody's different. I think that's why I said understanding is one thing. And in that instant where we chatted for in total the 3+ hours, the understanding was like it's like never seen anything like that before. I mean, so in that aspect, what is it then, Rose? Is that infatuation? Maybe if I had given and I'd have changed my mind, I doubt, because it was mostly the chat. You know what I mean?
You know, the thing is that there's the line is very thin. It's very, very thin.
Okay.
But then, you know, one thing that I can assure you is that at the back of your mind, there was this thought lingering in your head that like, man, am I doing the right thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, but at that point, after like 1 hour,
as long as that thought, I think as long as that thought exists, like
I'll be honest though, deep down I didn't have that thought. I was like, nah, fuck that. This is life right here. Because like I was like, I don't have time to
come on, you see why I put that comment in the chat box. You see why I put that comment in the chat box.
This is my overall take on this shit, because this is what I've been trying to say from the beginning. Now, this guy did not take her number initially or whatnot because of a sense of obligation, and her too.
Exactly. That's
did not continue
so give me my credit.
because of a sense of duty and obligation to
exactly.
whoever they were with at the time. It's not because of they did not feel each other. It's not because they were not attracted to each other. It's because okay, we both have a guy, and societal conditions tell us that if we have a partner, we have to stay loyal to them. Like that's literally all that stopped him from moving forward with this. So when I say like polygamy, and again, I'm Muslim, I have my biases, whatever. But when I ask you guys whether polygamy is natural to men or human beings or whatever, it's because of things like this. Like you can clearly see that in a world where you grow up and societal norm isn't that you can only be one partner. It's a societal norm where skills and this girl grew up is you can have multiple partners. They would have probably taken each other's number on the first meetup, and then they would have probably moved forward with it again after that, because the norm in that society is I can have more than one partner. So it's not about our disposition. It's not about how we feel toward each other. It's just because we've been conditioned to live in a certain way, and so we continue with that.
Because that's what society says. Exactly.
Yeah. So that's my 2 piece on that. Rose, you can disagree, but yeah.
No, but Rose is also making good points. That's why I said, at the end of the day, if society doesn't want to accept, polygamy, let's do transfer market. So I give you my...
This guy said transfer market.